Subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon, to never miss a video from us. Hi everyone, welcome to Test Prep Training. In this video you will learn about some commonly asked questions in Microsoft Azure DevOps Solutions Beta. So let's get started. Question number 1, you manage an Azure web app that supports an e-commerce website. You need to increase the logging level when the web app exceeds normal usage patterns. The solution must minimize administrative overhead. Which two resources should you include in the solution? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Your options are: A. An Azure Automation Runbook. B. An Azure Monitor Alert that has a dynamic threshold. C. An Azure Monitor Alert that has a static threshold. D. The Azure Monitor Autoscale settings. E. An Azure Monitor Alert that uses an action group that has an email action. The correct answers are option A and B. Have a multi-tier application. The front end of the application is hosted in Azure App Service. You need to identify the average load times of the application pages. What should you use? Your options are: A. Azure Application Insights. B. The activity log of the app service. C. The diagnostics logs of the app service. D. Azure Advisor. The correct answer is option A. The company uses ServiceNow for incident management. You develop an application that runs on Azure. The company needs to generate a ticket in ServiceNow when the application fails to authenticate. Which Azure Log Analytics solution should you use? Your options are: A. Application Insights Connector. B. Automation and Control. C. IT Service Management Connector. D. Insight and Analytics. The correct answer is option C. And, here's the explanation of the answer. You use Azure SQL Database Intelligent Insights and Azure Application Insights for monitoring. You need to write ad hoc queries against the monitoring data. Which query language should you use? Your options are: A. Custo Query Language. B. PL/PGSQL. C. PL/SQL. D. Transact SQL. The correct answer is option A. Your company creates a web application. You need to recommend a solution that automatically sends to Microsoft Teams a daily summary of the exceptions that occur in the application. Which two Azure services should you recommend? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Your options are: A. Azure Logic Apps. B. Azure Pipelines. C. Microsoft Visual Studio App Center. D. Azure DevOps Project. E. Azure Application Insights. The correct answers are option A and E. Your company is building a mobile app that targets Android and iOS devices. Your team uses Azure DevOps to manage all work items and release cycles. You need to recommend a solution to perform the following tasks. 1. Collect crash reports for issue analysis. 2. Distribute beta releases to your testers. 3. Get user feedback on the functionality of new apps. What should you include in the recommendation? Your options are: A. The Microsoft Test and Feedback Extension. B. Microsoft Visual Studio App Center Integration. C. Azure Application Insights Widgets. D. Jenkins Integration. The correct answer is option A. You have an Azure DevOps project named Project 1, and an Azure subscription named Sub 1. Sub 1 contains an Azure Virtual Machine Scale set named VMSS1. VMSS1 hosts a web application named Web App 1. Web App 1 uses stateful sessions. The Web App 1 installation is managed by using the custom script extension. The script resides in an Azure storage account named SO1. You plan to make a minor change to a UI element of Web App 1 and to gather user feedback about the change. You need to implement limited user testing for the new version of Web App 1 on VMSS1. Which 3 actions should you perform? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Your options are: A. Modify the load balancer settings of VMSS1. B. Redeploy VMSS1. C. Upload a custom script file to SO1. D. Modify the custom script extension settings of VMSS1. E. Update the configuration of a virtual machine in VMSS1. The correct answers are option B, C, and D. You are monitoring the health and performance of an Azure web app by using Azure Application Insights. You need to ensure that an alert is sent when the web app has a sudden rise in performance issues and failures. What should you use? Your options are A. Custom Events, B. Application Insights Profiler, C. Usage Analysis, D. Smart Detection, E. Continuous Export. The correct answer is option D. You have a private GitHub repository. You need to display the commit status of the repository on Azure boards. What should you do first? Your options are A. Configure multi-factor authentication for your GitHub account, B. Add the Azure Pipelines app to the GitHub repository, C. Add the Azure Boards app to the repository, D. Create a GitHub action in GitHub. The correct answers are option B. You have an Azure DevOps organization named Conoso. You need to receive Microsoft Teams notifications when work items are updated. What should you do? Your options are A. From Azure DevOps, configure a service hook subscription, B. From Microsoft Teams, configure a connector, C. From Microsoft Teams Admin Center, configure external access, D. From Microsoft Teams, add a channel, E. From Azure DevOps, install an extension. The correct answer is option A. You can refer the following for the explanation of the answer. For more such videos, subscribe to our channel.